On Saturday, if you checked the Saturday Nation, you may have seen, or you should have seen, Machakos County Assembly, they put names of 27 chief officers for vetting. If you go to Wajir, there are 30 plus. Mandera, 30 plus. So, a CEO of a county, and the governor is a CEO, you ask yourself, what is the job I'm supposed to do? What kind of structure will I require in order to be able to deliver that? And you organize your structure and departments in a manner which will enable you to seamlessly deliver services. I'll give you an example of a department which used to be joined together. Even now, I think it's joined together, water and irrigation. We have separated them. We have a CEO for water and a CEO for irrigation. Why have a CEO for irrigation? When I was discussing this with the County Public Service Board, because it's a requirement you discuss this with them as you establish other departments, we agreed we are moving from rain-fed agriculture, from relying on rain-fed agriculture to irrigated agriculture. Those of you who listen to the speech of His Excellency the President on Mashujaa Day, he said for this country to be food secure, we must move from waiting for rain and move to irrigation. And some of us foresaw some of these things before, because we interact and we interface with others who make policy even nationally. And we said we are going to give irrigated agriculture prominence. How do you do it? By having a CEO who is dedicated for that particular job. And within that, for example, we are coming up and we are still lobbying and we are putting it even in our budget this year. The sand dams. We want to have 60 sandy dams where people not only extract water for drinking, used for their animals, but it's also used for irrigation, where we have sand dams. And if we have 60 per ward, those will be 2,400. And then we will have dams and so forth and so on. And this is not just for drinking and not for animals, it's also for agriculture, because food security is important. Will rain-fed agriculture or farming help us? It will not. And we must think out of the box. So these are not excessive at all. Thank you. Any other question?
Yes, Your Excellency.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Excellency.
Afternoon.
My name is Paul. First, let me congratulate you. On 9th August this year,
yes. Immediately after vetting, all the 8 women is because 2 other departments are occupied by women, and those 2 departments have been injuncted or prevented from appointing people immediately. And for avoidance of doubt, that is a governor's delivery division or unit. The other one is fishery, livestock, fisheries and apiculture. The other one is culture, gender and social services. And the other one is youth, sports, ICT and innovation initiatives. Okay? So let me stop there. And you seek any clarifications. Of course, since there we have 26 slots, we can't have a slot for each of the 40 wards. 26 versus 40, you may not. And this is not as simple as allocate this to this ward, allocate this to this ward. No, no. It is interviews and the people who are ranked top. And because, as I said, the principal reason, the main reason we recruit chief officers and other officers is to deliver services. In the process, we endeavor to ensure regional balance, the gender rule, and so forth, and inclusivity. But let's never lose the need to ensure your people who can deliver services. Nitakomea hapo ili ikiwa mnataka kuniuliza maswali, kufafanua kitu, nifafanue. We stop. The county assembly, as you know, we send the names of CECs, and we understand they are still dealing with the matter, and we will wait. There was also quite a lot of rumor mongering around it. EACC has stopped the process. The EACC never stopped the process. Even in this case, we are going to send these names to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission so that they can check whether these officers whom we are nominating for appointment consideration, they may have issues of integrity. And they will advise. In the case of the ministers or county executive committee members, we will advise none of our 10 nominees had any issue. And the county assembly is going on with the process. And they will advise us when they finish. And we don't want to speculate the outcome. Let's be patient, they will advise us. So that is the other thing I want to talk. The other thing I wanted to share with you is some rumors which surrounded our establishment of 26 departments, with some people writing in the social media posts that we have established many and they have been reviewed by the National Treasury, and as a result our supplementary budget was not approved. That is a lie, and the propaganda and the politics. Section 108 of the Public Finance Management Act allows county governments and the national government, after a general election, to reorganize their budget to align it to their priorities. Because a budget which will have been adopted or passed by the outgoing government or the government which has exited was aligned to their priorities. And when you are elected, people want you to focus on certain priorities. And therefore, our priorities are in that supplementary budget. Our 26 departments are in that supplementary budget. And both the director of IFMIS and the permanent secretary of the National Treasury have clarified there is no county government, including Kitui, which will be prevented from having the departments which have been created after a general election uploaded in the IFMIS system to enable expenditure. What they do not do is to, in the middle of the year, you have different names of ministries because they say it can cause confusion, and the Auditor General, when they are auditing books, they may not follow this properly. But you are allowed to have departments, and that has been clarified. So whatever you saw in social media, that was politics and propaganda by people maybe who are on instructions for certain people to continue churning out propaganda against this government in order to confuse the people. But they will not succeed. That's very, very, very clear. So I wanted to clarify that bit as well, and then maybe stop there for any clarifications or any questions you may wish to ask me. Clarifications. I promised the youth of this county that I would include them in my government. I have 9 people who are youthful, because when you are 37, you are youthful. But the Constitution says 18 to 35 are the youth. We have 7 people who are 35 and below, and you have heard me read the names. Of course, they don't have the experience which people who are 45, 50-something have, but they have the potential. And unless we give people an opportunity and a chance to serve, we may not realize their potential as well. And I'll be there to mentor them. I'll be there to capacity build them. I'll be there to guide them. And I can tell you, even when I recruited CEOs way back in 2013, even the ministers, I had to mentor them, I had to capacity build them, etc., etc. And I have no doubt these young people we have given an opportunity, we can mentor them and they will perform. And therefore, I will request you to support them. Don't start criticizing them early and say you are not experienced. So we have done that. And in fact, if you look 9 out of 26, that is more than 30% than a third. So a third of my appointees are youth of both the sexes. And then 8 of the nominees are women. And I like being inclusive. We know historically women have not been accommodated in appointing positions. And in many counties, and in many, even in the national government, having almost 2/3, I mean the 1/3 or 2/3 gender role observed is a challenge. But in our case, we are compliant, and that's the reason why, and I explained at length a little bit, that's the reason why I had to read even some of the departments where there is a court order in terms of appointing after vetting cases. Actually, in all the cases, I've opted to nominate for appointment those candidates that were ranked highest by the County Public Service Board. Reason, because the overriding essence of recruitment of CEOs is performance and effective service delivery to our people. Let me repeat that. The overriding principal reason why we recruit chief officers is for them to perform and to ensure services are delivered to our people. The other things, we observe them, but that is the overriding, that is the main, that is the principle. And therefore, I had to pick the ones who, when they went for interviews, they were able to prove themselves as people who can be selected to lead or to head those particular departments as CEOs. Therefore, besides education, qualification, and leadership management exposure, and / experience and potential, I have, to the extent possible, endeavor to observe the 2/3 gender rule, regional balance, intergenerational and diversity inclusivity. Of importance to note is that all the 8 constituencies have at least one CEO nominee. 8 of the nominees are women, with one of them coming from a marginalized / minority community in the county. And 9 of the nominees are aged 37 years or below, and 7 of these are youth age below that 5 years. I was advised persons living with disability were not shortlisted for these particular positions. I understand because none, I don't know whether any applied, but I was advised none because I requested if they did apply and what was the case, but I was told they were not shortlisted. And it's like there were no applications from them. So that is my press statement, although that is not indicated here. It should be indicated because when I was preparing this, I said that is very, very important because we must be inclusive. So that is the end of that particular press statement. We will give it to you. And the reason why we normally issue such statements is to be transparent, to be clear, and to ensure there is no rumor mongering going around. So that is a position from the horse's mouth. And as I said, I've written to the county speaker, and from there, the county assembly will deal with the matter as they see fit. But let me emphasize again, because I don't want to be accused of preempting the ongoing court case, or to have discussed, there is what we call, what is the rule? Is that a rule when a case in court you are not supposed to discuss it?
Yeah.
What do you hear from yourselves? What do we call it?
Sub judice.
Yeah, that's it. Sub judice rule. Sub judice rule is when a matter is in court, you are not supposed to discuss its merits and demerits. Here we are not discussing the merits and demerits of the case which has been sent there. So the sub judice rule, we are not infringing it, but sharing the position with our people so that rumor mongering is not there. That is perfectly in order. Ferdinand Ndema Kavenge, Tourism, Hospitality and Game Reserves, is from Kitui South, Ikanga Chatune Ward. Village Chatune is male and is 44 years. 16, Dr. Musioka Benson Wambua, Medical Services, Kitui East in terms of constituency. Chuluni Ward, Kamale Village, is male, is 32 years old. Next, number 17, Stephen Iketonga Saleh, Decentralized Units. SEKEB stands for Southeastern Kenya Economic Bloc, and Intergovernmental Relations is from Mwingi Central. No Ward, and the village indicated here is no, is male, is 50 years old. Next, number 18, Henry Gilu Nyamai, Energy, Minerals and Natural Resources from Kitui East, Mutitu Kaliku Ward, is from Kaimu Itiko Village, is male, 32 years old. Next, 19 is Agnes Kawila Mulewa, Public Service and General Administration, Kitui West Kaui Ward, Kaui Village, female, 42 years old. 20, Agri Kinyalili Kamba, drugs and medical supplies from Kitui Rural, Kisasi Ward in Giluni Village, male, 46 years old. 21, Patrick Masila Munove, Economic Planning and Budgeting, is from Kitui Rural, Yatakwa Bonza. Mikuyuni is male, 44 years old. Some of these villages is what their IDs read. Some may not be 100% correct, but that was what was recorded. Then 22, Stephen Makao Musili, Trade, Industry, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises and County EIZ. EIZ stands for Economic and Investment Zones. Is from Mwingi North constituency, Chuso Ward, Kimu Village. Is male and is 44 years old. 23, Benjamin Nikithe Chamia, Roads and Public Works, Kitui Central, Township Ward, Mutendea, Shiongila Village, male, is 57 years old. 24, John Makao Kimwele, Finance, Revenue, Management and Accounting, is from Mwingi Central, Moi Ward. Kalitini is male and is 45 years old. 25 is Bretta Mwangangi, Culture, Gender and Social Services. And let me emphasize, this is another department where there is a chief officer who has gone to court and they have been granted conservatory orders restraining the governor from appointing somebody in that particular position, and we have requested the Speaker and the County Assembly, even if they vet them successfully and they send the names to me, I will have to wait until the case is determined. So, Bretta Mwangangi, Culture, Gender and Social Services, Kitui West, Ward Matinyani, Village Kalia, female 54, and finally, Nason Kangalia Kalonzo, another ministry where we have been injected not to appoint somebody. Youth Sports, ICT and Innovation Initiatives, Kitui Sendo, Changulia West, Unya Village, male, 32 years old. If we send the names, minors are 4, and within the 4, there are 2 ladies, then our list will be adjudged as short of the constitutional requirements of 2 days. So I'll mention this and I've sent the names, but I've also advised the Speaker, even after vetting, and assuming they will successfully vet them, I will not appoint them until the case is determined. Let's understand one another on that one. So the second person is Kamunda John, is a governor's service delivery, and that's one of the departments we are not sending. She's from Mwingi North, Tharaka Village, Kakombe, and she's 37 years. Number 3, Northern Kasamba, Vungo, Water, Kitui Central, Changuidia West, is from Dumoni, Chamadhiaka, is 41 years old. Number 4, Gladys Mami Wambua, Irrigation, Kitui Rural, Kanyangi, Kitoni. She's a female, 51 years. Next, Nelly Kabu Mutisia, Agriculture and Fisheries, Mwingi Sendo, Waita, Mutia Ngombe, Village, 44 years, she's female. Jonathan Chambi Zhao, another department where one of the current chief officers has managed to get an order restraining the governor from appointing, and appointment comes after vetting. County Assembly does not appoint. The governor cannot appoint before the County Assembly vets. But after appointment, the governor, before appointing, he should make sure he observes the court order, and another name is here, another department, Livestock Development and Apiculture. But the person who whose name has been forwarded for vetting consideration is Jonathan Chambinzao from Kitui South, Kanzi Kusimisi, a village called Keotunda, and is male, 52. Next, Michael Mutisia Kali, Land and Housing, is from Mwingi West, Kiomo Chedani Ward, Kairungu Village, male, 49 years. Next, Evans Mutemi Mutua, Urban Development, Housing and Urban Development, Kitui West, Mutunguni, Kangondi, male, is 26 years old. Number 9, Pauline Kikele Mwalali, Basic Education, ECD, and Child Care Facilities from Kitui Central, Changwidya East, Mutune, female, 55 years old. Next, Kennedy Munyambu Mwendwa, Polytechnics, Vocational Centers, and Homecraft Centers from Mwingi Central, the Mwingi Central Sub-County or Constituency, Mwingi Central Ward. From Kalisasi is male and is 33 years old. Next is Peter Keto Nyamusia, Transport and Border Sector, is from Mwingi North, Ngomeni, Village, Kalwa Kabuti, male and is 32 years old. 12, Francisca Kanza Chui, Performance Contracting, Disaster and Emergency Services. She's from Kitui South, Mutomo, Kibwea. She's female, she's 52 years old. Next, number 13 is Lee Nikitwan, Public Health and Sanitation. She's from Kitui East and down Malalani Village. She's female and she's 30 years old. Next is Ponge Monyi, Cooperatives and Citizen Group Economic Empowerment Initiatives is a department. Is from Kitui in terms of constituency. Ward is Chama 2, Village Chango, male and is 49 years old. To the Speaker of the County Assembly, requesting to have the chief officer's nominees vetted by the County Assembly as necessary, and have a list of those officers whom I've sent to the County Assembly. Again, I wish to emphasize that the 4 departments covered by the Employment and Labor Relations Court order, whose post-vetting appointment by the governor would be pended to avoid determination of, to await determination of the court case, are highlighted and marked with the asterisk in this list, which I'm going to give you, and their departments numbers 2, 6, 25, and 26. And the names of the people whom I've nominated are the ones who are ranked top. Actually, in literally all cases. In all cases, I just took those who are ranked number 1 by the County Public Service Boards after interviews. The first one is David Soy Masai, Environment and Forestry Department. And here we should differentiate between a department and a ministry. We have 10 ministries, including the office of the Deputy Governor and the office of the Governor, brings to 12 county executive committee members. But the departments are more, and even in the national government they are like that. You find there are 22 ministries, but the departments are 51. In our case, we have 10 core ministries apart from the Deputy Governor and the Governor, and 26 departments. And the first one, as I said, is Environment and Forestry, and the person who has been nominated for vetting and appointment consideration is Mr. David Soy Masai. He's from Kitui West, Mutanda, Kaui, and his age is 36, he's male. We have somebody who has been nominated in one of the departments where we will not immediately appoint somebody before the court case which has been launched by the 4 current chief officers is determined by the court. But it's very important the names we send to the county assembly that must comply with the constitution. The constitution requires the 2/3 gender rule to be satisfied. So if we send to the assembly names where 2/3 gender rule is not satisfied, then the assembly will be fully in its right to say these nominations do not comply. So I'll mention those names, but I want you to bear in mind, and I'll give you this statement, and we have highlighted those departments. But I will highlight the names as well in the interest of transparency, but with understanding that I've requested the speaker that these ones, even after they finish vetting, I will not appoint them, because a court has said I should not appoint other chief officers or replace the 4 chief officers before the court has determined the case before them for vetting and appointment consideration as CEOs. On 7th and 14th October 2022, the Kitui County Public Service Board advertised for the positions of chief officers in the print, media, and the County Public Service Board's website. A total of 1,866 applications were received. 208 applicants were shortlisted for the 26 posts, with 8 persons shortlisted per position. Interviews were conducted by the County Public Service Board from Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022 to Friday, December 9th, 2022. After the conclusion of the interviews, the board submitted the names of the candidates as ranked in each post to the Office of the Governor on Tuesday, December 13, 2022, to facilitate consideration for appointment of suitable and qualified candidates. You may all be aware that 4 current chief officers who were appointed in 2017, some and 2018 by my predecessor, moved to court on 13th December 2022, alleging, among other things, that their appointments were on permanent and pensionable terms. The officers were granted conservatory orders by the Employment and Labor Relations Court, thus restraining the governor from appointing new chief officers on the 4 departments, because there were 4, on the 4 departments where there are chief officers currently, and which are listed below. I'm going to share with you those 4 departments. The ex parte orders, meaning orders given to one party without the other party. Because when the other party is there, they are called inter-parties. This is ex parte. The ex parte orders by the courts were served to the governor's office on Wednesday, December 14th, 2022. The initial court order was extended by the Employment and Labor Relations Court during an inter-parties appearance on Monday, December 19th, 2022. That is yesterday. It is noteworthy the Employment and Labor Relations Court did not inject the entire recruitment process spread by the 4 applicants who are also plaintiffs now. The 4 officers and their departments are Geoffrey Sakayo Kimanzi, who is Chief Officer, Office of the Governor. Also, we need to appreciate the Office of the Governor currently as another Chief Officer who is responsible for public service management and administration. Number 2, Geoffrey M. Changangu, who is the Chief Officer, Department of ICT and Youth Development. Number 3, Enoch Nguzo, who is the Chief Officer, Department of Livestock, Agriculture and Fisheries Development. And number 4, Engineer Joseph Kimanga, who is the Chief Officer, Department of Gender, Sports and Culture.